The Netherlands offers one of the most unique experiences of postpartum care in the world, at least in the Western world. I gave birth in this country around 1.5 years ago, and in this video I'm going to share with you my own personal experience as well as some practical information about the system. If you're interested in the topic, I also have another video talking about giving birth and also generally pregnancy in the Netherlands as well. Hello and welcome. My name is Naz and this is Out of Our Comfort Zone. In this channel, I share about my real life experiences of expat life, traveling and more. Everyone in the Netherlands who gives birth, regardless of their circumstances, is legally entitled to receiving support from a maternity care nurse in the first week after they give birth. This support is covered by the basic health insurance. Most of it, some of it might be covered by your own contribution depending on the type of insurance that you have. The hours that you're entitled to is generally around, the range is 24 to 80 hours of care. For the first birth, the hours generally on average 49 hours. I received more care because I got sick during the first week of my postpartum, so I got it until the 10 days, and it was with my Kraamzorg's, my maternity care's opinion, as well as my midwife's opinion to receive that much care as well. So this maternity care nurse or postpartum care nurse is called Kraamzorg in Dutch. This is a nurse that comes to your house right after you're discharged from a hospital, if you're giving birth in a hospital, and she will be with you every day for the first week after you give birth, entitled to the hours that you've worked out with her beforehand. And she will check the baby's health, so weigh baby every day, check how the baby's eating, check the baby's color, make sure the baby's not sick, check the temperature, all that. I think she checked my baby's temperature 2 times a day, one in the morning, one in the afternoon when she was leaving. She also is checking the mother's health, temperature again, stitches, how the mother is walking, how the uterus is shrinking back, all that stuff. Besides that, she also teaches you how to take care of a baby, how to put on diapers, how to feed a baby, how to bathe them, how to, I don't know, what else do you do? Yeah, how to trim their nails. That was a godsend, to be honest with you. So she provides all that sort of care. She can also make your bed, which she did for me every day, change my sheets every day, clean the bathroom that I was using, and she asked everybody in the household that this is my only bathroom. Nobody else has to use this bathroom. It's just mine. And she also did a bit of a prepping food for me as well. I've heard of people who actually ask their Kraamzorg to do the grocery shopping for them. We didn't need that, but it's helpful. Basically, she's there to help you in the first week, also teach you how to take care of a baby, which is amazing. I don't know how to take care of the baby. That was the only way I could learn, basically. It was one of the best parts of giving birth in this country, to be honest with you, and I do believe everybody should receive this type of help after they give birth. We were lucky enough to have my family with us postpartum, but still the Kraamzorg help was so much needed and so much appreciated. We worked out a rhythm with ours for the mornings that she would come around 9 a.m. We were dead tired from the night, of course, and the baby was wide awake at that point. And she would take the baby. Me and my husband would nap for 2 hours, and it was a godsend. It was the best thing. And again, also taking care of a baby, I had no idea. She would teach us how to feed. I didn't know how to breastfeed. She taught me how to breastfeed. Fixed my technique a bit here and there, taught me how to bathe the baby. My mom didn't give a bath to a baby for 30 years, so she couldn't teach me. This was the only way I could have learned, or through YouTube videos, but I think that was better. As with everything else in the Netherlands, you need to earn your Kraamzorg pretty early on. My midwife suggested to already register to an agency or a nurse around 12-13 weeks, I think. And she also provided me with the name of the Kraamzorg agency that they worked closely with. The service generally is offered either through agencies that have a bunch of nurses and a bunch of freelance nurses in cases needed, or through one freelance nurse that you one-on-one arrange that care with. With the agencies, you do run the risk of having more than one nurse come to your house during that week, depending on their availability. They try to avoid it, most of the agencies, but it might happen. On the upside though, it's a bit more reliable in the sense that if somebody gets sick or something, or if a nurse is assigned to somebody else and that somebody else has extra time needed or something like that, that is not predictable, they will provide the care through another nurse. But if you have one nurse that you have a contract with, that might be a bit more complicated. You can register on their website as soon as you find them. They usually offer services in wider areas than, for example, GPs or midwife, but still it is a bit area based again. Usually after you register, there's going to be an intake interview with your Kraamzorg. Mine did it around 30 weeks. Usually it is that late. They either come to your house for that intake meeting or they do it through phone call. Mine also, again, came to my house to do the interview. In that interview, they talk about your situation, your living situation, what language do you prefer to speak, where are you going to give birth in, all that stuff. And based on all that stuff, you come to an arrangement for hours that they're going to provide the care for you. And they also tell you when to let them know the birth is happening, when to let them know you're coming from the hospital, all that protocol stuff. Besides that, they also provide you, at least mine did, provide me with a list of things that I need for postpartum and also for the baby. I already had a list come off from different sources and I had, of course, everything ready. But I think it's a good way to see how the Dutch system works. For example, one of the things that I wasn't aware of is these cloths. They call it hydrophilic doek, and they have big ones, they have small ones. The big ones is usually used next to a towel. The small ones are for like wiping the baby's face, putting it on your shoulder, all that stuff. And it's a big thing in the Netherlands. There's like 12 big hydrophilic dukes, one small one. Well, not one, that's stupid. Maybe like 20 small ones, 30 like medium ones, so you can put it on baby's face when there's sun on their face. It's a thing. It's so interesting to see. But yeah, like those types of stuff, it's really helpful to work out with your Kraamzorg as well. In that line, most of the necessities that you need for yourself postpartum are more or less included in your Kraampakket. The Kraampakket is a box that your insurance will send to you after you declare your pregnancy to them. It has a bunch of things like, I don't know, period underwear, but also it does have things that you need if you are giving birth at home. What is not included in the Kraampakket though is bed raisers that you will need for your Kraamzorg. The bed raisers are there because of the safety and also the comfort of your maternity nurse. The idea is that your bed should be at least 80 centimeter high for them to like provide the care that you need to, and you need to raise your bed for that in most cases. You can rent them and it will be covered by your insurance fully. I will also put a link in the description for renting those bed raisers as well. It is recommended that you put your bed raisers in around 37 weeks at the latest, because this is when you would expect to go to labor in a normal birth, so and so. But we did put it on our bed right before we were getting out of the door, because I really didn't want a high bed when I was pregnant and trying to get out of bed every 30 minutes to pee at night. So in terms of my own personal experience, at the end of the day, I did get two different nurses, two different Kraamzorg coming to our house. The first one came the first 3 days and the second one came the rest of it, so the next 4 to 5 days. It was fine. I didn't mind. By that point, I was so tired that any help was welcome. I was used to this system after like the first 3 days or so, and they were both very lovely nurses and they were lovely caregivers. So I was in good hands. The second one actually saw that it was very difficult for me to get out of bed and such with the bed raisers. So she told me that it's okay to take them out. She was kind enough to allow that. But of course, make sure that you do have your bed raisers on when the Kraamzorg comes in. One final point about the Kraamzorg system and all that stuff before we move on to the next point is that for the first 6 weeks, your midwife is your caregiver for your health. So, for example, I did get sick the first week after I gave birth. My Kraamzorg actually called my midwife to come and visit me and check me out. And she was the one who called my GP and suggested that I should get antibiotics, not the GP. So every time I got sick in the first 6 weeks, I should have called my midwife first, and then they would have suggested what to do. At the end of the 6 weeks, you will have a checkup with your midwife, and that's when, if everything is okay, your care will be moved to your GP again, and you will be treated as normally, let's say, in the healthcare system. Besides receiving care from the heavenly Kraamzorg, there's also some practical things that you need to take care of in your early postpartum period, the first few weeks. The most pressing one is registering your baby. You need to register your baby within 3 days after giving birth. If there's a holiday or weekend or something like this, you will have an extra day to do so, but you need to do it. You need to do it at the municipality that you give birth at. So, for example, if you give birth at Amsterdam, but the municipality of your house is Haarlem, you need to actually register at Amsterdam, and then they would notify the Haarlem municipality, something like this. The father is usually the person who registers the birth at the municipality. The mother can also do so, but I assume it's very difficult if you've given birth to go to the municipality like at day 2 or something. If the parents cannot do it, a person who was present at birth and can show it, for example, a doctor or a midwife, can also do so in special circumstances. To register the birth at the municipality, you do need, well, first of all, you need an appointment, so get that, but it's usually pretty fast because you gotta do it pretty fast. You need the birth certificate that a hospital gives you, and also the mother's ID. If the father and the mother are not married, the father also needs to fill out a form that recognizes the child as his child, otherwise you're set to go. You either receive a BSN number right at the gemeente there after you register, or you get it through a mail, like in a few days or so, which happened for us. And what else is that you will receive an official birth certificate for the baby with the registration that you can use to apply for passport, ID, whatever you need depending on your situation. For us, it meant that we used that official birth certificate that the gemeente gave us to get an Iranian ID and Iranian passport, as well as a Dutch ID for our baby later on. Right after you register the birth, and in the first 2 weeks, you will be contacted by your local Consultatiebureau to schedule a home visit and also a hearing test. So first of all, what is the Consultatiebureau? In most countries, when you give birth, you will do the checkups, the growth chart, the weighing of the baby, feeding advice, but also when the baby gets sick, through a pediatrician. That is not the case in the Netherlands. If your baby's sick, it's with your GP, same as yourself. But for the growth chart, feeding advice, vaccination, all the other stuff, you will be going to your local Consultatiebureau. They have nurses, trained nurses, and also pediatricians to do all of this stuff with. And they will give you a little booklet when you come to your home the first time with the times or the general times of the checkups, the vaccination booklets, and also like feeding advice, all that stuff until the baby's 4 years old. Because when the baby's 4 years old, they will go to school, and that's where the checkups will be handled with from that point on. So the first time, a nurse from your Consultatiebureau will come to your home, check out the situation, check how's it going with the baby, if the baby has been sick, all that stuff, tell you to do tummy time if you're not doing it, all that stuff, check up on you if you're doing well mentally, all that things as well, and also schedule a hearing test with you. The hearing test, you need to go to the Consultatiebureau and they will do it through a specialist. It was like super stressful for me. It's 3 minutes, it's not that long, but again, I'm a bit of a freak when it comes to health, so there is that. And then also at the first time they will do like a weigh-in for you. It's not like an official thing, but they will do it for you, so you see how it goes and things like this. And then you go for your first vaccines, I think around 4 months. Yeah, around 4 months as well. As I did struggle with breastfeeding myself, I want to go a bit more in details about the breastfeeding support and advice that you receive in Consultatiebureau and otherwise. You will get advice from the nurses and the doctors that you see regularly in Consultatiebureau. They will also provide some appointments with a lactation consultant if you need it on certain days that you can arrange. You can also just call them and ask for offerings. They will connect you to a lactation consultant that way to talk on the phone. Besides that, I think the first layer is actually your Kraamzorg. Usually most of them are trained to a certain extent to offer breastfeeding advice. And then also there's of course private lactation consultants. In the case of me, my Kraamzorg saw that I was struggling a lot with breastfeeding and the baby was having issues gaining weight at the start. So she advised us to see a lactation consultant that my midwife also advised to see. And she came into our home and she looked at the baby's mouth, how she's eating and everything, and she told us that the baby actually has a lip tie. She also referred us to a specialist, like a dental surgeon. Yeah, I think so. Like a dental surgeon, a mouth surgeon, to check it out and get it corrected as well. It was pretty easy and pretty seamless. We were lucky in that those private lactation consultants are also to an extent covered by your insurance, depending on your insurance as well. So there is that. Just know that sometimes if you do choose not to breastfeed, sometimes there's a bit of an encouragement from the system in general to breastfeed. I think this ties into having like really low rates of breastfeeding in the Netherlands, like more than 6 months or so. So stand your ground. They will offer also services, the Consultatiebureaus at least, they will also offer advice on bottle feeding and formula feeding properly. You just might feel a bit pushed or encouraged in certain elements, but don't worry about it. You stand your ground. It's your choice how to feed your baby. So I think I covered most of the things that you need for the first few weeks of postpartum. In another video, I will go more into details about maternity leave, paternity leave, parental leave, and also how to arrange them, also childcare situations and things like this. If you're interested in the topic, I also have another video that is already up about pregnancy and giving birth in the Netherlands as well. I'm hoping that this can provide you with some information if you are in the situation of, trying for a baby, giving birth to a baby or something like this in the Netherlands, and hopefully informational and interesting for the rest. Thank you for watching this video. If you've subscribed, thank you as well. If you haven't, I kindly ask you to do so. I really love making these videos and I would love to hear what you think of them and how I can improve.